Okay. So guys, today's topic will be how to understand the object hierarchies, and then we'll try to write some simple macros, very simple macros to understand how to start writing the macros. First thing is I open my Excel file here. Whenever you are trying to write a macro in an Excel file, make sure that you will save the file first. The reason is when I'm actually writing a macro, suppose if something goes wrong, if the file gets closed, the macros will not be saved if you're not saved it in a proper file extension. So how to save this macro file? So what you have to do is, see, when I say Control S, usually what we do, we'll just go and we'll try to save it as an Excel file. But what should I do to save a file with macros or programs? I'll just show you. Let me go to this folder which I've created. So we have a folder here for our batch. I'll say class 2. We'll make it as VBA class 2. Now while saving, this will say Excel workbook by default. So what you do, just click on this and say macro enabled workbook. Don't select it as Excel workbook. It will work. Say the macros what you've written will work until the file is opened. After you close the file, and again if you open, all the macros what you've written will be deleted. It will not be saved. So it's always a best practice whenever you start a file or whenever you start a project which you feel that you're writing macros, please save it as macro enabled workbook. I'll say save. Right. This first step what you have to do. Second thing is I have to go to the macro editor, that is VB editor. Alt F11 is a shortcut key. Once I reach here, I'll get these windows. So in the previous session, we discussed about Project Explorer, property window, and the code window. Today, I'll tell you few more things what you should actually understand about these objects. The objects are like this. Say when you're writing a macro, you should understand the object hierarchy. So what is object hierarchy? The hierarchy is, say for example, in your company, you'll have that hierarchy. Say first will be CEO, then director, then it goes on, say senior manager, then manager, then senior business analyst, a business analyst, junior analyst. So you'll have a hierarchy like this. Similarly, in objects, we have this hierarchy. The reason why we have this hierarchy is it will actually categorize such a way that it will be easy for me to understand and write the program in the proper manner. So for example, the hierarchy of this MS application will be like this. Say application. So in that I'll have all these Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or whatever. So these are all the objects, the files. Say application, then I'll have Excel. Then within that Excel, I'll have workbooks. Then I'll have worksheets. In that worksheets, I'll have so many other objects like cells, range, or charts, or something like that. Say for example, I'll go here. I'll just show you this object hierarchy. So this hierarchy is very important while writing the program. See, when you go here, see here it will be like this. The application, then workbook, then worksheet, then I have this shapes or say range or charts, and again we'll have some properties like this. So if you understand this hierarchy, for writing a program it will become very easy. I'll show you how to actually understand this practically so that it will become more easier for writing the programs using these objects. Fine. Let's go back to our macro. So when I'm writing the program, first thing I should understand where I should write the program. We discussed about the code window yesterday. See, when I click here, it will give me a code window, a white space here, wherein I'll be writing the macros. Now, this white space, what you see here, this code window, this is called as module. Module means the place where I write the program. When I say I'm writing a program, that means I'll be writing a macro here. There are different modules, different type of modules. Let me close this. So what are those different type of modules that we'll learn? There'll be 5 different type of modules. 5 different modules are, the first one will be standard module, then second will be worksheet module, then third one will be workbook module, then user form module and class module. That is there in this notes. Actually, you can go through that. I'll repeat again: a standard module, worksheet module, workbook module, user form module and class module. Why do we have different modules? How do these modules look? Okay, we'll go through that. First thing is how these modules look. I right click here, I have this insert and I say module. This is standard module. Let me click on this. See, I'll get this module. This is called as standard module. Next one, worksheet module. You can see the sheet 1 here. Just double click on this. I'll get another module like this. This is sheet module. Workbook module. I have this workbook. Just click on this. I'll get workbook module. Just arrange this. Then next we have user form module. Right click, insert user form. I'll get one user form module. Next is class module. Click here. I'll get a class module. So these are 5 different type of modules. Let's come to this standard module here. This one. It says modules, and here I have the standard module. I can create any number of modules. Any number of modules. It is like the pages, say page 1, page 2, page 3, what we create in our Excel sheet, Excel workbook. Similarly, I can create a number of modules here. The standard module, if you want to create, one is right click, insert, and I can click on this module, or I can go to this insert and say module, or I can also use Alt-IM as the shortcut key. Fine. Next is the sheet module. Double click here. See here the sheet module. What you see here, see, you can easily make out. It says module 1. Here it says sheet 1. If you want to insert sheet modules, you have to insert sheets. I'll go here. I have only one sheet. Let me insert few sheets. Let's go back and check. See, now I got more sheets. Double click on each sheet. I'll get this different modules here. See, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Fine. Next, workbook module. When double click on this, I'm getting this workbook module, but I cannot insert workbook module. See, each workbook, you can have only one workbook module. Next one, user form. User form actually is a form. Here, one window what you see here is for form. Now, suppose if you want to have some input, controls. Say I want to enter my name, collect some data, say age or say gender or any other information. I can create a form like this, and then I can give it to the user, where the user will enter the data here, and then that will be saved in the database. It's something like this. See, like this. So I'll have all the controls here. I can enter. So it's something like an user form where I can enter the details and collect the information. Now, if I go to this here, this is the window for the form. Suppose if you want to write program, just double click on this form, then I'll get one more window, which will actually, give me a space here to write the program. Right? Okay. Next is class module. Again, here I can create any number of class modules here. See, right? This is the class module. Let me close all of them, and we'll see what is the difference between these 5 different modules. So first thing is, the reason why there are 5 different modules is the way the program is executed. Executed means the way the programs are running actually, how the performance is done. So what will happen is there are different the programs will be writing in different modules. The way it is getting executed is what it makes difference. This you'll understand in detail in the coming chapters. Now, there are 5 different modules. there should be some reason why they have actually made it in 5 different modules. Otherwise, I could have written macros in same module throughout. But what is the difference? I'll tell you. Let's go to this module, that is standard module. If you see here, see, I have two drop downs here. So in this window, I have two drop downs. If I click on this drop down, it says general, and here if I click, it says declaration. This is called as object drop down, and this is called as events drop down. Let me click on this sheet module now. In this module also I have two drop downs. If I go here, see, it says worksheet, and here I'll get so many different events. Events are nothing but the actions. Let me click on this workbook, and here I have an object and some events related to that object. Let me click on this user form. I'll double click here again. See, I'll have one object and events related to that object. Class module, here also I have two drop downs. I have different object here and then some events related to this object. That means all the modules will have an object and events related to that object except the standard module. Standard module will not have any objects or any events, but rest all the modules will have an object as well as events related to that object. This is one difference. The other difference is I can create any number of modules except this workbook. This workbook module can be only one throughout the project. Okay, so these are the differences of this module. So you will get to know more and you learn more and more of these modules, why they are actually classified, as when you start writing the programs. Now what we'll do, let me close all this and then we'll start learning how to write the macros. When I'm actually start writing macros, so forget about all the modules. We'll just work only on this module, that is standard module as of now. I don't want these modules now. I want to remove it. Just select this, right click and say remove. If I say click on that remove, it will ask, do you want to export before removing it? Suppose if you think that I want to export it and keep it somewhere, I can say yes, that will get exported somewhere. As of now, we'll not go to this. We'll say no. Right click and say no. I removed all the model. Suppose if you want to remove this model, I cannot remove it from here. I have to go to sheet here and then I'll have to delete this. Right. Now we understood about the object hierarchy. Then we also understood about the different kind of modules. Now we'll see how to start writing the program. So today I'll just give you a brief, introduction about how to start writing your program so that you'll get an idea how to write the program. So tomorrow we'll work on many programs, only on programs so that you guys will be aware of how to start writing a simple macros. So today I'll just give you a brief introduction on how to start writing your macros. Right. So here I have this module 1. Just double click on this. I'll get this white space here wherein we call it as code window or a module. If you don't have this option explicit, just don't worry. I'm just deleting it. So as of now, you don't think about it. Now in this module, we'll start writing the program. When I'm writing a program, there are two ways what I can write the program. One is the subroutine or function. Function we'll see a little later, but now what we'll do is to start with, we'll start with something called as subroutine. So what is this subroutine? Subroutine is nothing but it is a synonym for program, macro, code, instructions, or whatever you call. When I say a macro, macro is nothing but it is a set of instructions, a set of code what you have written to execute a task. Don't get confused with VBA and macros. VBA is nothing but it's a software, or say it's a tool. Macros are nothing but the programs written in that software. Macros are small programs, or say it can be a complex programs which are actually written in your VBA. Okay, don't get confused with VBA and macros. Now let's start writing a simple macro. I told you when I'm writing a macro, so there are two ways. One is subroutine and other one is function. Function we'll see little later. Now what we'll do is we'll see how to start writing macros by using subroutine. Subroutine, say sub. The first keyword what you should use to start writing a macro is sub. Sub means subroutine. Give a space, and next is the program name. Program name means it is the name which helps me in recognizing the what program I'm actually writing. The program what I'm writing, so there should be a name for that. I cannot name it just like that. There should be a proper name for that. There are some say rules or principles to write this program name. So what are those principles? I'll just explain you. First thing is the name, the program name should be one single word. That means no space allowed. Say my first program. This is not allowed. When I say enter, see, it will throw error. Fine. Next, the program name should not start with number. Say like this. See, it will not allow. No special characters. No special characters. No dot. Only special characters what you can use is underscore like this. And no two programs can have same name. That means the name of the program should be unique within this module. It should be unique. Unique in the sense you cannot have two programs with the same name. I'll say sub. Next we'll write the program name. I'll say I want to display a text. Just a message box, and it will display the text. I'll say display text. See, I just gave the ISP text. This program name you can give anything. You can give anything, but make sure that it has got a proper name, appropriate name for what instructions you're writing in the program, so that it will be understood very easily. Now for example, if I go here, if I write this something like this, still it works, but I'm writing some codes here. So what will that actually relate? Say ITAS, and I'm writing some codes here. If I mention here, say display text, so what will happen? It will easily make anyone understand that okay, this program is for displaying text. And this you can give anything, as I'm telling you. So don't think that this program name what I've given, it should be like this only. You can give like this also, display text. So anything whatever you feel like, but make sure that you'll give a appropriate name with all the principles what we discussed. Fine. I'll say enter. Once I say sub space and then give a program name, I'll say enter. See, I'll get two brackets, open bracket, close bracket, and end sub. That means this is ending of this subroutine. But you have some space here. So this is where I'll be writing my instructions. Instructions means it is a set of statements what I'll tell the program to execute, or say work on that. Now my requirement is to display text. So what I'll do, I'll go here. I'll use something called as message box. This message box will help me in just displaying a message. Just displaying a message. Now what I'm actually trying to do here is I'm trying to display a message which is a text. I'll say this is my first program. This is my first program. I just mentioned message box. This is my first program. Now I'll try to execute this. Execute means running this program. How to run this program? See, take your cursor somewhere inside here. It should be always inside this instruction, that is between sub and end sub. Move your cursor like this. It can be anywhere. You have a button, green button here. It says run sub, or shortcut key is F5. If I press F5 or click on this, see, I'll get a message here. It says this is my first program. You just go and change this. Welcome to online classes. Let me run this. See, so whatever message you are giving here, that will be displayed. I put double quotes here. This double quotes, whenever you are trying to use this text, then I should use this double quotes. Fine. Next, suppose if you want to display a number, say sub, I'll say display number. Say message box, let's say 100. Just a number. Here I have not put double quotes here. For number, don't use double quotes. Let me run this. See, it says 100. The value what I'm trying to display. I'll tell you why we should actually not use double quotes for numbers. Next we'll say sub display calculation. Let's say message box, and I'll say 100 plus 200. So here I'm trying to display a value 100, and here I'm trying to display the calculation. Let me execute this. See, it says 300. That means 100 plus 200 is 300. It is doing the calculation. Fine. So I was telling we should not put double quotes for this number. So what I'll do, I'll go here, say sub display cal. See, I cannot execute the program here. See, here also I have same program name. Here also I have same program name. If we try to execute, see, it will throw error like this. So you should be very careful while writing a program name, because two programs cannot have same name. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll give some serial number or whatever, if it is like this. Okay, otherwise I can give different name also. Message box. Now I'll say 100 plus 200. See, in this case I've given without double quotes. Here I've given double quotes here, and we'll see what will happen if I run this program. Let's go here. I'll execute this like this. See, it is 100 plus 200. But in this case, if I go here and execute this, it says 300. That means when I put a double quote here, whether it's a number or a text, this will become like a text. If you say this part, whatever is there, this is showing me 100 plus 200. It is not giving me 300 because this is considered as text. Can I mix both? Say text as well as the calculation? Yes, you can do it. I'll go here, say sub display cal. See, I'll say 3. Message box, and here I'll say 100 plus 200 equals. See here, this is the text. Let me execute this. See, 100 plus 200 equals. Now I want 300 as well. That is, say 100 plus 200. I use this AND symbol. This AND symbol, what it will do is it will append, or say concatenate. 100 plus 200 equals. This is the text part, and here I'll say 100 plus 200 is the calculation part. Now when I run this, see, 100 plus 200 equals. So till here it is actually a text, and here what you see 300 is the calculation. This is a simple way of understanding how to start writing your program. But this is not what we are here to work on. This is just to understand. This is how we'll be starting the program, but all this what you have done here is called as hard-coded values. Now you just think, if I go here and if I say 500 and here if I say 600, now if I run this, I'll get the result as 100 plus 200 equals, because this is fixed. But here it says 1100, which is actually wrong. So all this should be dynamic. So this is what you'll be learning. This is what I'll be teaching you guys, how to take the values dynamically and start doing the say calculations, or you can do a lot of automations or whatever. Now let's recap again. So I have this subroutine, and here I have this display text, which is a program name, and then I have this message box, which will help me in displaying a message, and here I have the values wherein I can display. So we learned about how to display a text, a number, and a calculations. In our next session, I'll be teaching you guys. So I am not teaching you today only, is so I want you guys to understand this. Though it looks very simple, first try to understand what is this sub and what is this program name and how the instruction should be. And what you see here, it is completely hard-coded values. And next, what we have to do is we'll see how we can connect this object, that is Excel object, with this macros. So in our next session, I'll be explaining you about this. Now, if you have any doubts, please ask me. I'll give you some time.